Hello guys, today I'm going to go into the details of multiple choice single answer question of the reading section. So the tips to the multiple choice answer question for the reading section are: you just first need to read the question and just the question. You should not read the options. So let's get into the question. So this is one of multiple choice single answer question. So this is the passage. This one is called the question. So we need to read the question first. So it says one present indicator of climate change in Australia is. So the question is asking about the present indicator, which is the region behind the climate change in Australia. So the passage should definitely talk about climate change, and we need to find out which one is the indicator currently. So now getting to the second tip. So the second tip is skim the passage reach the place where the answer is located. So we need to screen the passage and we need to find out the location of the answer. We don't need to like fully read the passage. We need to screen the passage and then the place where the answer is located for the question. So sorry, this is not the answer. Uh, so by reading the passage, every day millions of lights and computers are left on in deserted offices, apartments, and houses. So here's not the answer. So moving to the second sentence. Environmental activists say that simply switching them off could cut Sydney's greenhouse gas emission by 5% over the next year. So in this sentence, it is being talked about Sydney's greenhouse gas emission. And now moving to the second paragraph. Per capita, Australia is one of the world's largest producers of carbon dioxide and other gases that many scientists believe are helping to warm the Earth's atmosphere, causing the climate upset. So here being talked about climate change, and finally we reach a place where we see that there is a talk about climate upset. So the answer is either carbon dioxide or other gases. So carbon dioxide is there in the option, but they're also being talked about gas emission, and the answer has environmental activists, but I don't think that's the reason behind the climate change because they are just saying something. They are not actually impacting the climate change. So climate change should definitely be carbon dioxide and other gases, but like carbon dioxide is also gas, so it also falls in the other gases. So you can't do like carbon dioxide because they also reach in other gases. So you need to go with gas emission, like uh, because in the first paragraph we also find out that they talk about Sydney's greenhouse gas emission. So it is saying that if we cut off the lights in offices and computers in offices, we can reduce the greenhouse gas emission. So if the gas emission is reduced, the climate will definitely not get affected that much because the heat is changing the climate too much. And also in the second paragraph, it is being talked about the production of carbon dioxide and other gases that many scientists believe, which are warming the Earth's atmosphere, and the greenhouse gas also will warm the Earth's atmosphere. So this should be the correct answer, but to be sure, you can like read the final paragraph, like if there is any talk about climate change impact. So let's go to the third paragraph. A long-standing drought and serious water shortage in Australia have focused much attention on climate change. So it is being talked about a long-standing drought and serious water shortage. So Drought and water shortage are like similar things, but they are like the impact of the climate change. Like drought won't cause climate change because climate change will result in drought, and water shortage is like if there is no rain, then there will be drought. So these are like the effects of the climate change rather than the reason behind the climate change. So this should definitely not be the answer, and we can read further. Some experts warn higher temperatures could leave this nation of 20 million people at mercy of more severe droughts and devastating tropical cyclones. So these are like just the analysis and effects of the drought and serious water shortages. And drought cannot be the reason behind the climate change. So climate change should definitely be carbon dioxide and other gases, but carbon dioxide is also a gas. And here in the first paragraph, it is being talked about Sydney's greenhouse gas emissions. So gas emissions should definitely be the right answer. So now let's get the second tip. We need to like check the answer. Does it exactly match the question? So we check divides, like we compare with this one, we compare with this one, and we also compare with drought and serious water shortages. Like environmental activists, they don't actually affect the climate change or cause the climate change because they are like just the people who say something and they are like human beings, but they can't actually cause the climate change. So this would be wrong. Gas emission it is the reason is our answer because here is gas emission, here is carbon dioxide and other gases. Carbon dioxide is also a gas, so this should fall on this. Drought cannot be the reason because drought is like the impact of the climate change. So this should be definitely be our answer, and we should only spend 1.5 minutes, but I spent like over 5 minutes. But I was explaining the passage, so you should remember like only spending 1.5 minutes in such question and not spend more than that. So the next step is if you find yourself spending more time, pick the one you think which is correct and then move on. And you should never leave the question unattended. So now moving to the second question, we'll implement all the things which we have learned here, like read the question or the options, skim the passage, check the answer. 1.5 minutes we'll spend on the passage, and we should never leave the question unattended. So let's move to the second question.